It's my pleasure to welcome Dr. Kevin Yip. He is going to share his screen. Thank you. He's a professor here at the Institute, as well as the director of the Bioinformatics Shared Resource and the associate director for training and education of the NCI Designated Cancer Center. Sanford Burnham Prebys is one of the NCI Designated Cancer Centers. And so he is going to tell us more about the Cancer Center, the research being conducted there, and the education and training initiatives. So I'll turn it over to Kevin.
Thank you, Nisha. So I hope everyone can hear me and see me okay. Good. So as Nisha just mentioned, I'm going to talk about our NCI Designated Cancer Center at Sanford Burnham Prebys. So first of all, I want to explain what it means by NCI Designated Cancer Center. So actually, many of you already know NCI is the National Cancer Institute, which is the institute under NIH for cancer research. So NCI actually funds two types of cancer centers. One is the so-called comprehensive cancer center. So this is the type with hospitals or clinics that you can collect patient samples. The other one is called the basic laboratory cancer centers. And there are only 7 of them in the whole nation. And SBP actually has 1 of them. So therefore, we don't have our own hospital to collect samples, but we work on the basic biology. And also translation. Later, I'll talk more about that. And we have been having this NCI designation for more than 40 years. So it really shows that we have a very long history of cancer research. So just want to have a quote from our director of the Cancer Center, Dr. Seth Ronay. So our Cancer Center is committed to performing impactful translational multidisciplinary research that will actually address the unmet clinical needs relevant to the diagnosis and treatment of cancer. So you can see we emphasize a lot on a number of things, right? Translation. So of course, we are studying the basic biology, but then we also hope to find translational potentials. And the other very important thing is multidisciplinary, which I will elaborate more in the later slides. But that is extremely important in our cancer center. So I just want to show you a few screenshots on our Institute website that talks about recent news about some of our cancer research. So I'm not going into particular details of them, but you can see we actually work on different cancer types, and we work on many different types of problems. So AI and computational biology is actually on the rise. That you can see these 2 news. This one is just April, very recent. This one is from last October. They're talking about extensive use of computational biology in order to get cancer findings. And of course, we also have traditional bench type of research happening in the Cancer Center. So talking about our research, our labs are actually organized into 3 different programs listed here, and I'm going to walk you through each one of them one by one. So the first one is the Cancer Genome and Epigenetics program. As you can see from the name, this program focuses on the very basic level at the DNA and the chromatin level. So we study, for example, mutations in the cancer genome, epigenetic changes, how these 2 things work together to affect transcriptional regulation and then downstream targets and so on. So the director of this program is Dr. Peter Adams. We work on different cancer types in this program, but the several cancer types that we focus more on in this program, number 1 is acute myeloid leukemia, AML, and another one is brain tumors, different types, and we also work on breast cancer. And one special thing about this program is that we also emphasize a lot on the effects of aging on cancer risk. So we're actually very interested in understanding why the cancer risk increases when people age, right? So that is also something that we study a lot in this program. Second program is a natural transition from the first program. So this one is cancer metabolism and microenvironment. So you can see we're moving more downstream to the results of all those things, right? The metabolism. and also cell-cell interactions in the tumor microenvironment. So these are the topics we study. This program is directed by Dr. Cosimo Comiso and co-directed by Dr. Brooke Emmerling. This program, again, has different cancer focuses. Some of them include pancreatic cancer and melanoma. Again, there is another theme in this program, which is immunobiology. So you can see, for example, the tumor microenvironment, it is very related to, for example, immune infiltration. So therefore, we actually have several immunologists working in this program. The third program is cancer molecular therapeutics. Again, this is a very natural transition from the first two. So you can imagine the first two are more at the basic level. We study the biology there, right? And then we identify targets potentially can be used to use either as a drug target or as prognosis purpose. And so this program focuses on therapeutics, especially small molecules. So we have a very long tradition of finding and also optimizing small molecules for cancer treatment. This program is directed by Dr. Michael Jackson and co-directed by Dr. Nick Cosford. This program is a little bit special. Quite a lot of the PIs are actually working in the practice center, which you heard about before. So they have the capability to do high throughput screening, imaging, medicinal chemistry, and so on and so forth, right? So this is something pretty unique to San Bernardino practice, that we actually have this chemical genomic center. We can not only think about what targets we want to work on, but actually have the way to do screening and then actually find and optimize. I'll have another slide talking about this kind of work later. Okay, so after talking about the three main research programs, I want to just very briefly reintroduce our shared resources. I think previously you have already heard about this. So I'm not going to reiterate, but just to highlight the fact that the reason we can have so many different kinds of shared resources organized into different cores, one of the very important reasons is that we have the Cancer Center Support Grant from NCI, that we are really providing this support so that researchers, of course, if they want to learn about these things, we have training programs, right? But if they're focusing on some particular research problems and they want to offload some of these more technical things to others, we actually have experts helping them. So for instance, if you are not a computational person, you're doing RNA sequencing and you want someone to analyze data for you, if there's something very standard, the core definitely can do it for you, right? So that's the advantage of working in center-dependent practice. I mentioned drug development. So this is one slide that I want to show you. This is very incomplete. We actually have many more targets working on right now. But this is the idea of what we do in the Chemical Genomics Center. So you can see we work on different cancer types here, right? Some are more specific to one type. Some are potentially applicable to multiple cancer types. And then we identify different targets, mostly protein targets. And then we try to have ways to, for example, inhibit their functions using small molecules, biologics, or other approaches. So on the right side is what we call the drug discovery funnel. So you can see from the very beginning, we'll do the early discovery, and then we'll do screening and so on, optimization. And for those small molecules, for example, that are promising, we'll move on to the later stages. So all the way to clinical trial, right? So we already have some of our compounds in phase 1 or even phase 2 clinical trials. That's what we do, right? From the original biology to screening and then all the way to possible clinical trials. So of course, we do not only focus on our own research, we also want to know what other people are doing. And one very important thing is that we collaborate a lot, both locally within San Diego and also with other labs within the United States or even in other countries. So every year we have this Focus on Cancer seminar series. We pick a few very important current topics and we invite the world experts to come give seminars, right? So every year we have these. And we also have larger symposia organized. So I'm showing just several more recent ones. So you can see, for example, this one about metabolism and this one at the bottom about pancreatic cancer. They are exactly organized at SBP. And there are also many other symposiums or conferences nearby. If you know, AACR this year was actually in San Diego. And then some others may be co-organized by us or maybe organized by a neighboring institution. Okay, so I think this is one good thing about working on cancer in San Diego. So within like a driving distance of 5 to 10 minutes, we already have 3 different NCI designated cancer centers, right? SVP is one of them, and then we have SOC and UCSD. And then we also have other institutes nearby. So we have a lot of collaborations, and the academic environment here is extremely well. Okay, so maybe I should sort of stop here and see if anyone has any questions. If not, I can talk more on particular topics. But since this is a good chance for you to ask questions, let me just stop first and see if there's any question.
Are there any questions for Dr. Yip? Feel free to enter them into the chat, or you could raise your Zoom hand and unmute. Okay, if not, Dr. Yip, did you want to highlight anything else?
Yes, maybe I can talk more on some particular topics. Let me go back to some previous slides.
Okay.
So if actually I'm a computational biologist, so I want to talk more about the computational biology and AI efforts currently happening within the institute, and large part of that is also within the cancer center, right? So these are some of the examples I showed before, like we have a new recruit, Dr. Sanju Sinha. He is an expert in mining large-scale cancer-related data sets. And by doing so, we actually find potential drug targets and so on. So he is in program 3 about drug therapeutics. Okay, and another PI, Dr. Lucas Travers, he is in program 1, and he works on a very special kind of DNA rearrangement called extrachromosomal DNA or ecDNA in brain tumors. So these are examples, but I just want to mention that in the Institute, we are very well aware that it is on the rise, that people need computational biology, people need AI, although traditionally we are more like bench labs. But then now we are hiring more and more people in computational stuff. And we're also providing more training. We have one course in the graduate school, and we are thinking about having even more. And we also have a lot of collaborations between the wet labs and the dry labs. So if you're interested in these topics, I think this is actually a good news for you, because we are really working very hard to push all these things forward. Okay, so I hope this is useful information for you. The other thing I want to mention is the different cancer centers in the local neighborhood. So I mentioned SOC, there is a basic cancer center. UCSD, there is a comprehensive cancer center. And of course, we also have other institutions that are very good at research nearby, like Scripps and the Hoya Institute for Immunology. So actually the culture here at SBP and also in San Diego in general is that we collaborate a lot. So I don't know where you have been working on before. I believe many other places are also like that, but some places are not, right? Due to resources and other reasons, some places are more competitive than collaborative. I can assure you that here it is definitely collaborative, right? People like to collaborate, and we emphasize a lot that we want to collaborate, not only between dry and wet labs, but for example, if you are not traditionally a drug development person, right? But here you're interested in going translational. So actually our Prep Center can provide you a lot of support and maybe seed funding and so on to do that kind of research. So therefore, if you actually are thinking about coming here to do a postdoc, there is a chance that you can really study something outside of your comfort zone, right? Still related to what you're good at, but then maybe you can expand to some other areas through these kind of collaborations. I think these are the 2 things that I want to highlight. And then I'll again pause a little bit and see if anyone has any questions.
And if anyone has any questions, again, feel free to raise your Zoom hand or enter them into the chat. I do want to comment, Dr. Yip, thank you for adding those comments because I've received several questions about bioinformatics and AI research here at the Institute. So I'm glad that you really highlighted those. And you reiterated the point that several of our faculty presenters mentioned this morning, which is just the collaborative environment here at the Institute and locally in the Torrey Pines Mesa. So I appreciate both of those points because it again reflects the values that we have here at the Institute and how we are able to effectively conduct world-class biomedical research.
Right. Those are very important elements, and we're happy that we actually have those environments for our trainees and everyone so that we can work together.
All right, with that, thank you so much, Dr. Yip.